Becoming ill probably was been one of the greatest challenges to my faith. For someone who believed in God who heals and miracles, and one who believed that it was a simple matter, really, I guess, of claiming what the scriptures said. And yet finding that that hadn't worked for me was quite an eye-opener. And I think I started to realise much more that my faith really was about knowing the scriptures, knowing what the Bible said, but I'm not sure how much it was in terms of my life, in terms of how it affected me. And I guess being ill has been one of the things, and not being healed immediately has been one of the things that has made me have to ponder more about what it means to be a Christian and what this life of faith is about. Now, this has not been an easy task, and I've not been one who has faith has been constant through all that I've gone through. In fact, there have been times when I think I've been hanging on by my fingernails, and so this has not been an easy experience at all. But there have been positive things about being ill. For one thing, I've met so many people via the internet in particular, who I never would have met had I not been ill, and I'm really grateful for them and for the friendship that they've expressed. And these aren't just these aren't only Christians. These are people who have no faith necessarily. And I've never ever tried to preach at anyone, although, as I say, my faith is part of me. But I'm grateful for those friendships, to be able to share in their lives in some small way, to be able to see how others are suffering, and to try to see my faith in that context has been a challenge, and also been a joy as well, if I'm honest. You see, Christians so often think that what we are supposed to do is just to spout scriptures at people, and not allow, and also to have this facade to look good all the time, to always look as if we've got it right. And to be quite honest, I don't know one Christian who has got everything right, who is perfect, who doesn't do things that they wish they never did, whose life is just all happy and joyful. And if I'm really honest, I don't know anyone like that. And usually, if they are, there's usually something that's either hidden, or God allows something to happen in their lives to sort of shake them up. Having to go through the things that I have been through over the last 4 years has been a challenge. At one time, I would have loved to have had all of this time to spare to read. I love reading, read the scriptures, to read Christian books, time to pray. I played the guitar and used to lead worship, and to have been able to develop all those things. But my illness has taken that away. And it's been more and more so as I've gone on. At the beginning I could read a bit, but then I found myself so distracted that I just couldn't really bring myself to doing the reading that I want. But as the years have gone on and my illness has progressed, the reading has become something that's much more difficult. And I might read a page or a couple of pages, and then I have to rest because I'm not taking it in. So that time has drifted. As for praying, the same goes much for that. My mind drifts here and drifts there because I struggle. And there's a constant feeling of feeling ill all the time. And getting over that has not been easy, and I'm not sure that I'm even there. So in terms of my walk with God, in terms of how much I'm growing, the outside it looks like not very much. But beneath all of this, there is something, I believe, that's deeper that's happened. because you see, I don't believe it's about how much we hold on to Him. I think that for me, and what I'm finding out, is the fact that God has hold of me. When we lost David in 2008, our world collapsed. I questioned God deeply about many things, and I made another video about the way it changed my theology, particularly in relationship to what happens to those who don't believe. Completely changed my theology, and made me rethink, not just discard, but rethink. And fortunately at that time I seemed to be more able to read and take things in, but it made me rethink these things. I'm starting to ramble now. I seem to have lost track of my thought. Losing David, my illness, I believe has matured me. I know that I'm not walking as close to God as I would like to be, but I know that deep inside His peace is still there, and that His hands are still underneath me. The Bible talks about His everlasting arms being beneath us, and it really isn't about how much faith I have. It's not about how much strength I have. It's not about how much I can muster. It's about the fact that I believe I know a God who supports me even through the worst times, even when I'm failing Him terribly, yet He's still there. And that's what I trust. And I hope that it comes across in my videos, even when I'm being despondent. And sometimes I think my videos can be quite depressing because they're all talking about me and about my problems. I'm hoping that comes across. So that's really my story. There is much more I could say, and I'm amazed if you've got through to video 3 and haven't actually fallen asleep or just not bothered. Being a Christian for me influences my whole life, my thinking, the way I deal with my illness. But being a Christian for me is more than just bashing it over people's heads. It's about trying to live it, trying to be there for people. And I fail on that on many levels so often. But I hope that some of it does come across. Would I like everyone who I know to become a Christian? Yeah, I would, because to be honest, it's the best thing that ever happened to me. It hasn't taken away any of the challenges or the hurt or the pain in life, but knowing that beneath it that there's someone who loves me intensely and understands the complexity even when I don't understand what's going on, who understands me better than myself, is knowledge that I wouldn't want to deprive anyone of. But would I ram that down someone's throat? No, I wouldn't, because I don't need to. I can't change anyone. Only God can do that. Only God can change you. And if someone says they don't believe, I understand, because I didn't believe for years. But it's a bit like someone say, well, show me God, and I can't. But I could give you an intellectual answer as to why, say, Mount Everest doesn't. I could probably persuade you, if I was very persuasive, that something like Mount Everest didn't exist. I probably could find, if I was very clever, I might be able to persuade you that. But if you've been there, I couldn't ever persuade you that it didn't exist. And it's the same with my knowledge of God. I know Him. I've experienced Him. And I'm sure that people could say, oh, it's to do with this, or it's to do with that, or you've kidded yourself. But I know what I know, and if it's a crutch, fine. If I've got it all wrong, fine. But I don't believe I have. And my sincere desire is that others come to know Him. But anyhow, I am preaching, and I said I wouldn't. So this is the last video in this series. I will go back to my normal subject, I'm sure, talking about me again in another video. glad I got through without too much jumping, and my voice held out. I think I shall have to rest now. Bye.